Hey guys, it's Marina with Artworthy Life, where I teach Christ-centered art journaling that gets you into God's Word every day. And happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to day 18 of the October October Doodle a Day Challenge. I'm still stuck on Get Started Art Journaling. I really liked that. I really liked the challenge. Anyway, we on day 18 of the Doodle a Day Challenge in October, and I am loving it. We have so many little doodles we've done so far, so if you've missed them, go back and watch those replays. They've been really, really fun. And I'm going to go ahead and let Instagram and Facebook and YouTube tell everybody that I'm live. And in the meantime, I will remind you that if you would like to get the tracer, it's a free tracer every day, but it changes every day. So make sure you download it before it's gone, because I update it every day to have the new tracer for the next day. So if you're on YouTube, you can get that tracer in the description of the video. If you're on Facebook, you can get it in the description. And if you're on Instagram, it's in my bio. So just click that link and it'll take you straight to an easy, well-formatted PDF printable that you can just download and print, and it's really nice. Good morning, Bonnie. Thanks for watching. She's on Facebook today. How fun. Alrighty, so we're going to go ahead and get started, but before we do, I want to read us some scripture. As always, that's the best place to start our day. So let's go ahead and read some more out of the Sermon on the Mount. This is a great verse to read in the morning. It's just a great verse to read almost every day, and you'll find out why in just a minute. Good morning, Leslie Ann. Thanks for watching today. I'm so glad you're on. Alrighty, so we're in the 6th chapter of Matthew, and we are going to start in verse 31. So Matthew 6:31 through 34. Therefore, so if you want to know what it's there for, you're going to have to go back. We had a preacher that used to say that. If you want to know, if you ever see a therefore, you need to go back and see what it's there for. Anyway, so read the previous if you don't know. Anyway, therefore, take no thought, saying, what shall we eat? Or what shall we drink? Or wherewithal shall we be clothed? For after all these things do the Gentiles seek. For your heavenly Father knoweth that ye have need of these things. But seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Take therefore no thought for the morrow shall take thought for the things of itself. Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof. Isn't that true? Man, I'm so glad he says that tomorrow, take thought means to worry. So it's basically saying, don't worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. It's like, okay, I can handle today. So obviously we need to prepare, and we need to be diligent about, not being irresponsible. But as far as worrying about it, I mean, we really can't control it anyway, so let it worry about itself. And the last line is, sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof. There's enough evil to fill up today without me taking on tomorrow too. And yesterday, for that matter, actually, if you think about it. Alrighty. I love that verse. You can read it every day. It's such an encouragement. Just take it one day at a time and keep going. That's what's great. All right. And same difference if you're doing Doodle a Day. Don't look at all the doodles for the last month, especially if you're just joining us and you're brand new to the Doodle a Day Challenge. Don't worry about stressing about all the other doodles. Start today and move forward. Art journaler ladies, you guys know I say that all the time. If you feel like you're behind, there is no such thing. You start with today and you move on. You can always go back and do some more, but if it's starting to overwhelm you, set it aside, start from today, and move on, right? Right? Am I right, ladies? Hi, Anita. Good morning. I'm so glad you're watching today. Thanks for being on. I hope you're feeling better. Alrighty, I'm going to go ahead and flip Instagram around so that they can see what's going on, and we'll get started. Alrighty, so as you can see, I have several of our plaid paintings laid out today. And that's because today is another plaid day. I'm so thrilled to be doing so much plaid. We actually did a whole demo on plaid yesterday in the Artworthy Journal Club, but today is not going to be near as involved. But it will make our plaids coordinate. Whoops, I hope I don't cover up my camera accidentally. Okay, so today we're going to be doing plaid. I'm so excited to do this with you. And we're doing a little sweater. As you can see, I have my little tracer here, and I've already traced it onto my watercolor paper. So if you'd like to do that, go ahead and get your graphite paper out and trace it down. But I'm going to go ahead and get started using these other plaid pieces as my inspiration for color. All right, so the first color we're going to start with is going to be a light beige, as you probably remember. It's going to be a light tan. And let me make sure I haven't lost anybody's comments. I don't know if I can see everybody's comments on here. All right. So, whoops. There you guys are. All right, still working on technology over here so I can see everybody. Alrighty, so good morning, good morning. Didn't miss anybody else? Oh, Anita's feeling better today. Good, good. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Okay, so we're going to start with this light tan color, and it's a brilliant yellow with a little bit of brown mixed in. And I'm going to go ahead and just put that all over. Oops, that's a little bit more yellow than I want it to be. So I'm going to water that down and add some brown. There we go. That's closer to what I want it to be. A little bit more beige colored is what I'm going for. More like it's still kind of yellow on the screen, but let me add a little bit of brown. Okay. Watering it down. There we go. That's closer to what I want, that light tan color. Almost a skin tone, actually, now that I think of it. Okay, and I'm going to leave the little button area for now. I don't think I need that painted in just yet. And then going up here onto the collar. So I'm just kind of giving everything a good base coat of color because I don't want to have to worry about white space later on. Now, granted, you could leave some white space behind, but with this, I'm just going to fill the whole thing in with good color, like a base coat of tan all the way across. Alrighty. And then down the sleeve. Now that I've got that color on, I'm going to give my sweater a little bit of shading. Now remember how when we were doing the plaid before, we learned that if we add the shading before we add the plaid, it is much easier and it looks better. So I'm going to add some shading to the left of the arm and a little bit and under the arm, especially in this little crease. Basically, I'm adding the shading before I add any of the patterns on the sweater. So the shading is already established and I don't have to come in and do it later. So up under the arm, especially down the arm here, under the arm there. And then on the right side of this arm as well. And on this little cuff, we could do a little bit at the end. And you can kind of go quick with this. It doesn't have to be real particular. But I especially want like under the arms, along the edges of the sweater, because that's going to be where you're going to see some more shadow. Hi, Twyla. I'm so glad you're watching today. Good to see you. Okay, tell me, you guys, what is your favorite piece of clothing to wear once the weather gets cold? Like, it could be a specific article of clothing if you like know a specific one you have off the top of your head, or it could be like a certain type of clothing in general. What's your favorite type of fall clothing? I would have to say for me, I typically don't want it to get cold, so I have to like look forward to something. And the thing that I look forward to is wearing my nice winter boots, probably. Usually I don't wear those unless it gets nice and cold. And so it's nice to have cute winter boots. And then once it gets cold, you can kind of be like, well, at least there's one good thing about the cold. I have some cute like dress boots that I wear to church and stuff. A brown pair and a black pair. Pretty standard. Okay, I'm running a shadow along the edge of where the buttons would be. That little stripe where the buttons are going to go. I'm putting some shading under there. Using a little bit more brown for that. I'm going to put a little shadow under where the fold of the sweater is there. And then along this edge again. Tammy likes to wear sweatpants and her jogging suit. Ah, that sounds cozy. Do you have one of those coordinating ones, like the matching ones where the top and bottom match? My mom used to have a set of those that were like velvet, actually. They're like a velvet color. Oh, your granddaughter came in last night. Oh, how fun, Tammy. Yeah, we missed you at the thing last night, but I'm so glad you were with family. That's awesome. We had our art journal demo last night. All right, what else do you guys like to wear at fall time? Bonnie says she loves to wear cute sweaters. Oh, how cute. Yeah, I like cute sweaters, especially cozy ones. I used to be all into turtlenecks. I'm not so much anymore because I like to be able to take like if it's around my neck, I like it to be like a scarf I can take off. But I used to wear turtlenecks all the time because they're so cozy. Not so much anymore. I do have like cowl necks that are like big, wide neck stuff. Those are really nice. Okay, as you can see, I'm just adding layers and layers and layers of this shading. I'm just continuing to add shadow until I feel like it's dark enough, and it's getting there. I'm going to add some shading underneath this little collar here. Just a little bit there. I know that's going to create a little shadow. And I'm using my size 3 round Liquitex watercolor brush. Okay, and then I'm going to do a little bit on this side next to the buttons. Like so. Isn't that great? Alrighty. All the way down the left side. Like that, and I'm going to do it again down this right side, just because I'm really trying to emphasize the edge of that sweater being nice and dark, which will make the sleeve look round. If we put the shading on the left and right of the sleeve and leave the center kind of light, it will emphasize the round shape of that arm. So that's kind of cool. And then I'm going to come up over the shoulder, give that some shape. The neck as well. Like that. Not too hard. And you can see that shape starting to take shape. Tammy says, although I did it this morning, Adeline and I painted, so I will post it on our journal page. She is a doll. Oh, that's exciting. I can't wait to see. Tammy says, both of them are watching my live. Hi. So tell me if I said her name right. Is it Adeline? Adeline, possibly. Hello. I'm so glad you're watching. Oh, you have me on the TV. Am I big screen? Is my face really big? Hello. Then you get to see that I am having a hat day today. Tucked all the hair. Whoops, except for that little bit that got free. I tucked all the hair into my hat and went, okay, we're doing a hat day today. Jessica says, I was the turtleneck queen once upon a time. LOL, but I'm loving long dusters with basic tanks or tees underneath this time of year. Okay, a duster. Is a duster like where it's like kind of open and it's long, like almost halfway down your thigh, and it's kind of like flowy? Those are really cute with like jeans or something. With basic tanks or tees underneath. Yeah, cute. Sounds fun. Jessica, is this your first time watching? I'm not sure if I've seen you on before, although your name looks familiar. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Oh, she says, yes! Those are cute, aren't they? And they're really popular. I think you can find them in a lot of places right now. And they're cozy. They feel like you're wrapped up in a blanket when you wear those. I have one for around the house. I don't wear jeans a lot, so they don't work as well like out in town, but I have one for around the house and they're really cozy. Oh, Tammy, she says, and is it Adeline? Did I say her name? Or Adeline? Adeline, maybe. I'm waving at Adeline. That's so fun. How cool. All right. How old is she? You should tell me how old she is. That's so cool. Alrighty, so we're filling in the neck right now. I'm going to give this sweater a little bit of shading on the inside of the sweater. So obviously that's going to be darker. And so I'm using a darker brown for that, adding a little bit of black to it to make it nice and dark. And then watering that down a bit so it's not too harsh. And then I'm just going to put some of that dark shading down in the inside of the sweater. Okay. Hey, yo, good morning, Daniel. Tammy says wave. Are you telling me to wave? Oh, she's only 4. How cute. Tell her thank you for watching. That's so fun. I love to have little watchers. Is she an artist already? Or is she just learning to do art? That's so cool. How exciting. Okay, if you're just joining us, we are painting a fall sweater. And as you can see, I have all of my plaid around to inspire us today. And we're painting the shading on the sweater before we start adding the plaid. It's always a good idea. Okay, Tammy's trying to spell it out so I can actually say it right. Is it Adeline? Adeline? Adeline. Okay, put another yes or say correct in the comments if I said it right. Adeline? It looks like she's trying to say the last part's pronounced like Lynn, is what I'm thinking. Okay. It's hard to tell. This is why you guys should join the Artworthy Journal Club, because in the Artworthy Journal Club, we do Zoom and I can actually hear you. Right? Okay, there's my plug for today. Okay, yeah, and that's what we started doing, almost all of them on Zoom. Jessica says it is her first time watching. So happy to have caught your live this time. Love the shading on your sweater. Thank you so much, Jessica. That's really sweet. And welcome to be on your first time watching. That's so awesome. Okay, so we're going to add some shading back here in the background. As you can see, the sweater is kind of pulled up just a little bit. And what's revealed back there is the back of the sweater. So we want to shade that in kind of dark back there as well, with some dark brown and a little bit of black mixed in. So the same color you used up here to shade the inside of the sweater, we're also going to come down here and do that right there at the bottom. And I'm going to darken this one up a little bit more because it got darker as I went along. Okay, so just like that, adding a little bit of shading. I missed a spot here, so I need to add a little tan right there. And that looks pretty good. So we're going to leave that as is. Oh, yay. Okay, Tammy says I said it right. So it's Adeline. Hi, Adeline. Thank you for watching. It's really cool that you have me on your big screen. She said, she is pretty, Grandma. Aww. You just made my day, especially because I put almost 0 effort into the way I look today. Oh my goodness. You're gonna make me blush. Okay, so I need to grab another brush for our plaid today. Okay, so the deal is this is a knitted sweater, or at least it's the shape of a knitted sweater, but I wanted to incorporate plaid. So just ignore the fact that probably this would never work in real life, and we're just gonna make it match. How's that sound? Does that sound good to everybody? We're gonna make it match all these others, even though you probably don't get plaid with knitting. Yeah, I mean, I know you can do a knitted plaid, actually, I do know that, but it's very difficult. And it's the difference between knitting and weaving. And so that doesn't really matter. Anyway, the point is we're going to make it have plaid, even though it probably isn't realistic. And I wanted this type of shape of sweater, so we're just going to go with it. Okay. Is it fine? Is it going to be fine for everybody? I think we're okay. Alrighty, so we're going to start with the golden color. The golden color, yet again, is, oh, by the way, if you don't know, the watercolor set I'm using is Como Rebi, Komorebi, by Mozart, and the colors I'm hollering off are from that watercolor set. But if you don't have watercolors or you don't have that watercolor set, it's totally fine. Just get something similar, and you can try to follow along with that, and it shouldn't be too much different. Hi, Grandma. Thanks for being on. I love you too. Thanks for watching today. Okay, so I have yellow and orange. Okay, so the gold that I'm making is made out of brilliant yellow number 3 and number 10 orange. And I'm going to water it down quite a bit. And I'm adding a tiny bit of brown, which is number 52 brown. And the color I'm ending up with looks something like this. So this kind of a golden honey yellow almost. Honey yellow. That's the word I keep not saying that I should be using. It's a honey yellow. I keep saying golden. Golden works, but honey makes way more sense. So make a honey color. I'm going to make a lot of it so I have a lot to work with. So just keep mixing your yellow and orange and a tiny bit of brown and make your honey yellow. And then water it down a lot. So the reason we're watering it down, watercolors are naturally, what's the opposite of opaque? Transparent, whatever. They're see-through. But we want them even more see-through while we're doing this plaid because the plaid will overlap itself and make these cute little squares in between where the colors overlap, if you can see it that big. Okay. On some of these paintings, the plaid is smaller. On some of it, it's bigger. On this one, I'm going to make it quite a bit bigger. And we're going to concentrate the plaid for now between this, on this arm, this section in the middle of the sweater, and this arm. And then we might go up here as well. So I'm going to start by, first of all, deciding to do the plaid at an angle. If you do the plaid straight, you can. We did it straight. Where did we do it straight? On this scarf, but you'll notice here I did it at an angle, and the reason is because it's a lot more forgiving when you do it at an angle. So we're going to do ours at an angle. I'm going to start with the center of the sweater, and we're just going to do the golden stripes going this way, all the way across the sweater like that. Then I'm going to switch directions, whoops, like that. Actually, I think I'm going to carry this all the way up right now. I'm going to go like this. All the way up to this half circle curve up here by the shoulders, like that. So those stripes are going to look like they go all the way across up to the top. And then the arm, I'm going to go the opposite way because I don't want to have to line those up. So I'm going to go opposite, diagonal. So just pay attention to which way your stripes are going as you go. And then Adeline wants to know what is on your t-shirt. She can't see the picture. Good question, Adeline. So, whoopsies. It's James 3:18. And James 3:18 says, since I don't have it memorized, I know about what's going on in that chapter, but I'm not sure exactly which one that one is. James 3:18 says, and the fruit of righteousness is sown in peace of them that make peace. So you can tell Adeline, or Adeline if you're listening still, these are little plants. They're little cacti. If you see, they're little cacti, 1, 2, 3. And it says plant peace. Because in that verse, it uses the word sown, which is not like sow. It's the word S-O-W-N, which means to plant. So this verse says the fruit of righteousness is sown or planted in peace of them that make peace. So it's talking about planting peace, which is a metaphor for basically creating peace or planting peace in your life. And this says plant peace on it. So these are plants. Isn't that cute? Hi, Jackie. Good morning. She's been with her lawn man. Okay, thanks for jumping on for a little bit. I can't wait to see what you paint after you watch the replay. How fun. Okay, so now we're going to do our golden stripes the opposite direction. My stripes are a little bit wonky today, but you know, whatever. Okay, I'm gonna turn mine this way, and they're a little bit bigger than usual, so that's okay. What we want is to make them perpendicular to the others. So they're gonna go this way, and they're gonna come down like this. So basically, crossways, however you want to say that. And try to make them kind of even. All right, and you'll see what I meant by them being a little bit transparent because they're making darker areas wherever they intersect. And I'm going to come down this way with it. I guess it didn't matter that I went the opposite way now that I think of it, you guys. Look at that. It doesn't matter because they're both going both ways. I guess it doesn't matter. Okay, whatever. Okay, so we're going to go this way with this one also and see if I can get those to line up. All right, there's my plaid so far. Again, this is the kind of pattern that you can leave just like this. It looks just like gingham, actually. So you could leave it like that. Bonnie says, so cute. Are you talking about my shirt? Or are you talking about the sweater? Tammy says, she said that was cute. She likes her cactus, and she keeps waving at you on the TV. She's enjoying this. Aw, hi, Adeline. That's super cool. Okay, so I'm going to get, I'm going to let this start to dry, and I'm going to get my rust color mixed up. So those of you that have been with me know that I have to mix my rust color up. What I'm going for is something close to this leaf color. Look at this gorgeous leaf that my friend brought. This is Miss Leslie Hansen. She gave me this red leaf, and it's almost exactly the rust color that I've been mixing up, which I don't know where, oh, in my art journal. We did this art journal yesterday, and I found out it's almost exactly the color of the leaf. The deep red is almost exactly the color of that leaf. Look at that. So we're going to mix up that color. And that is starting with crimson. I'm going to start with crimson. Let me move my painting down so you can see this color being mixed. Starting with crimson, and I'm going to, I've got some already on the palette, but I need to mix up more. Starting with crimson, and then we add a little bit of orange. Number 10 orange. I've almost got my color numbers memorized now that I've been using them so much. And then number 52 brown. And we also found out yesterday you could use the number 53 burnt sienna. Pam figured that out. And then I just darken it quite a bit with the brown until it gets nice and deep. So I want to make sure it's not a super bright red as a fall color. Alrighty. So now we're going to use that color to put a light wash. I'm gonna water it down some. I'm going to put a light wash onto the bottom of the cuffs of this sweater. Right there. And then the bottom of this part of the sweater as well. And don't forget the inside of the little flap. And then this side of the sweater here. And then also this little cuff right here. Hi, Pam. Speaking of Pam, hello. Thanks for watching. Bonnie says both. Oh, thanks. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to fill this in with that deeper red, and then we can add some shading to it because we did have the shading before, but now that we've added the red, it might not show up as well. So I can do just a little bit of red shading kind of on the left and bottom of all of these to make sure that shading doesn't go away, especially up under this little flap right here. Along the edges there. And we're going to add more detail, so these don't have to be faded in as much. It's interesting how many layers you can add to watercolor and still be adding detail, detail, detail. Pam says, love it, more plaid. I know. Oh, Pam, I hope the plaid doesn't make you sick. We were having a hard time with plaid yesterday, but we made it through. I hope that you're an expert at plaid by the end of this month. It's just more chances to practice it, right? The more you get to practice it, the better, the better, the better. All right. How many of you guys have a fancy sweater for a particular holiday, like Christmas or fall time? Tammy says, Adeline says, we got to try this, Grandma, when we get off TV. Aww. Yes, you do, Grandma. We got to try this. That's so fun. All right. I'm going to go ahead and smooth this out a little so you can see I'm adding that red shading in. And then I'm also making sure this is dry. I'm also going to add some red up at the top of this as well. And when I say red, I mean that rust color. So it's that rust color that we just mixed up. We're going to add it in different areas. Let's see, where do I want to put this? I think I'm going to put it up here on this little, I need to put it on the neck of the sweater right here. Make sure it's watered down enough. And this little one, I didn't really want it there, so I'm going to sweep that up real quick because that's not where I wanted to put that. So one great thing about watercolor is if you don't let it sit too long, you can clean it up. Ta-da, now it's gone. Isn't that wild? Okay, so I'm going to put it on the neck here is what I'm going for. The neck and the bottom of the sweater are like a woven, not woven, they're like a knitted texture. So I want to give those a good coat of red paint so that when I come back in to do the texture on it, there's a good background for it to be painted on. Just like that. And I'm going to add a little bit of shading here with the darker red and fade that in with my wet brush. Okay, so now I'm going to let that dry. While that's drying, we're going to work on our plaid some more. Tammy says, so after we get done, ours done, I'll post it on Artworthy Journal Club. Oh, good, good, good. Yay, thank you. Please do. And Twyla says, I have to say I decided to just watch because I thought it was just a plaid sweater. Oh my goodness, it's so cute and detailed. I'm going to have to paint this on my next relaxation time. I should have known it would be fabulous. Aw, thanks. Oh, I'm so glad you think so. Yes, I go a little much on my doodles, but I'm so glad you enjoy it. Alrighty, so we're gonna add the same kind of plaid that we have been using, and this is going to be our next color is going to be our orange tone, and so this is going to be number 10 orange, and I'm going to add a little bit of brown to that. So number 10 orange and number 52 brown. Thanks, Twyla, for the compliment. That was really sweet. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit of yellow to that to kind of soften it up. So here's the color I'm ending up with, this one right here. It's kind of a pumpkin orange. A little bit more brown added to it. There we go. And I'm going to make a good little puddle of it, but I want to keep it nice and pigmented so when I use my brush, it doesn't get too watery, my smaller brush. All right, so mix that up with my big brush, and now I'm going to switch to my smaller brush so that I can paint it on smooth. Okay. These stripes go between the golden stripes. So you've got golden stripes going this way and this way. These these stripes go between the golden stripes. So look at your golden stripes and follow along between them, between each of them with your smallest brush. Here's my little orange stripes. These orange stripes look a little bit redder than I want them to, but that's okay. It'll still look like plaid when I'm done. Okay, I need to load my brush up again with paint. And then I'm going to come down this way. Words are covering as you paint. Oh, Pam, are you talking about on Instagram? You can swipe to the right on Instagram and the words will disappear. So if you just swipe, whoops, you just swipe, you swipe this way. Can somebody tell me how you swipe on Instagram to get rid of the words? I think you left or right. Can you move just a bit? Almost cut off. Okay, how about this? Is that good? How's that, Pam? Pam says dizzy. Oh dear. Okay, I hope you're not too dizzy with all this. All right, I'm trying to keep my lines straight, but my plaid probably gonna not be perfectly straight because I didn't measure it or anything, and that's okay. It's gonna look okay anyway. All right, now I'm gonna keep going all the way across. And try to take your time with these stripes to make them all straight. This one's a little wonky. That's okay. I'm doing my best. But if you can make them somewhat straight, it'll make the overall result better. Okay, Pam, tell me if that's better or if you figured out how to swipe the comments out of the way. All right, now I'm going to turn it the other way and go between the golden stripes this direction. Just going between each of those with my smallest brush. And you can tell I'm trying to make the plaid square. So in other words, I should be paying attention to my orange stripes and making sure that wherever they line up makes a good square pattern. You don't want rectangles across your plaid. Just my name covers up just a bit more might help, but some is better. Okay. I think you said it might help. Just a bit more might help. Okay, how about like this? I don't want to sweep off the page that way. Okay. Hopefully that's a little better. Okay, so now we're going to come down a little bit more. Finish up the orange on this plaid pattern. Oops, and I want to make sure this looks pretty straight over here too. All right, so there's plaid so far. We're not quite done with the plaid, but I'm going to go ahead and come in and do the detail on the red areas. So coming back to this rust color we had earlier, we're going to add some of that rust to the like knitted texture on the cuffs and the bottom of the sweater and the neck. So starting with the bottom of the sweater, I'm going to use my smallest brush and just do some stripes. And that's about it. That's all it takes. Some little stripey pattern. And then this one's going to be at a little bit of an angle because that's a fold in the fabric. And then coming down some more. And I want to keep my brush somewhat wet, otherwise my brush will not glide across the page. I do want it to glide across the page so that it's not skippy and my lines can be nice and smooth. I'm going to try to get my lines to go all the way up to the edge. Usually I don't care, but I think that's going to make it look more finished. So I'm going to make sure they're all the way up against that edge. There we go. Yeah, look at that. See how that looks like a little knitted edge? You know, like you see on a hat or something? Good morning, Terry. She says, love the sweater and cute hat. Thank you, Terry. It was a hat day, so truth be told, I just didn't want to do my hair. No, ran out of time to do my hair, I'll put it that way. We are still doing our yard sale, as you know very well. And yeah, it's just been one of those mornings. So, of course, I couldn't miss Doodle a Day, so I put on a hat. Okay, we're gonna do the cuffs over here the same way, just thin stripes to make the little knitted edge, like so. We'll do this little edge here as well. All right, so see how that makes like a little knitted looking cuff? And we're gonna do the same thing on the collar. So just pay attention to this collar, the angles of it. This one's gonna be at a little angle right there. And then on the back, it's gonna be straight up and down. And then of course this one's leaning, so we're gonna follow the angle of the button area. Look at that, how cute. Oh my goodness. I love that. I think it's so cute. Oh, I love it. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit more color to this sweater. So first off, we have this nice cocoa brown, and I want that to be kind of some additional detail to this sweater. So using my size 2 liner brush, I'm gonna grab some brown. That's gonna be black, actually, mixed with number 52 brown again. So it's going to make kind of a cocoa brown. Oops, I'm going to mix it up nice and watery. And let me mix that up, and then I'll show you what color I've got here. Here's the color I'm getting. Kind of this cocoa brown color right here. And with that color, I'm just going to give my sweater a little bit more texture. And right here, I'm just going to add little vertical stripes in between these two little lines going up the shoulder, like that. I think I'm going to use my smaller brush for this. It's a little tight right there. Use my smaller brush. And the thing coming from the shoulder. Ooh, that's dark. Soak that up a little. That's a little darker than I wanted it. Yeah. Okay. And then all the way across like that. All right, so see how that goes all the way around the shoulder? It's not quite even, but whatever, it's okay. We're going to do that along the top of the plaid here. There's a little stripy pattern there. Just doing these little vertical stripes. It'll look like knitting or stitching. All the way along the top of that. And then all the way along the bottom as well. So look how you don't, I mean, a lot of people think when you do something detailed that it's really hard, but look what we're doing. I mean, they're just dots almost. They're little stripes, but they're almost like little dots. And they're not hard. You just have to take the time to do it. And look how much detail it adds. It's not even like a complicated pattern. And look at that. Okay, next, we're going to let that dry, and we're going to add our last stripe to our plaid. So for the plaid, I'm going to go grab the red again. Grab that red. I'm sorry, this is the rust color. I keep saying red, but it's the rust that we mixed up. And I'm going to get it nice and dark on my brush. And then and now we're going to go down the golden stripes. I'm going to darken it just slightly because my orange was so dark. I want there to be a difference in color. So going down the middle of the orange stripes, I'm going to make these lines even thinner if I can. So those golden stripes, I'm going to make my rust color go right down the middle of them. So just use your orange stripes as a guide and make sure you're going between them. and right down the center of those golden stripes. There we go. And now I need to turn it and go the opposite direction. All the way down. And I'm making these real thin because I want them to look different than the orange stripes. All the way down. Okay, look at that plaid starting to pop. All the way down the sleeve. And there we go. So I have a little bit more. Adeline said, wow, that is a pretty sweater, Grandma. Aw, thanks, Adeline. That's really sweet of you. Pam says, yes, hate texting. Can you tell? I can tell. I know, it's so hard. Okay, there's a little bit of something missing, if you guys can tell. The little buttons are not done. So I need to add those in. I'm going to make those red. I didn't do them earlier because I didn't want it to blend into the red pattern we were doing. So we're going to give those a base coat of that red again. So it's going to be real light. And we're just going to fade that in with my large brush. Come all the way down. Hi, let's see, Wild Paper Ireland. Hello, thanks for watching. Welcome. So I'm filling this in with the rust color we just mixed up, and I'm gonna add a little shading to it just to make sure it's not super light pink the whole way through. So just adding a little shading to the edges, and especially to the parts where they overlap. So down here next to this little flap, I'm going to do a little shading so that we can tell they're different. Here. And then underneath here as well, put a little shading. Got some great light coming through the window, but I hope it's not making you guys super, super bright. She said there's a shadow that's guessing it's hard to get rid of. Yes, that's what I just realized. There's some light coming in through the window. Let me see if I can shade my arm with my other thing. Maybe like this. That might work. I don't know. Let's see. Does that work for you guys? As long as I don't dump anything. How about that? All right. It's hard when the lighting changes in my studio. I got this great window, but when it messes with the lighting while I'm painting, it's hard for you guys to see. Hopefully that's better. Tell me if that's better for you guys. So I'm putting a little shading underneath the red part of the collar here, and then also underneath here where the flap would bend. See how that makes that bend really visible? And then I also need a little here to show a difference between the left side and the right side, where that bend is. That, right there. See that? Ooh, I'm hearing some banging around. All the commotion from the yard sale. Okay. And then fading that out like that. So see how that makes those little bends more dramatic. So you can definitely see them. I need to let that dry, but I want to add a little bit of pattern to the tan part. Somehow the tan is looking like too much. I don't know if I need to add stripes or what. I think I'm going to add something to make that look a little better. So first, I think I'm going to try adding a little bit of red to the center of the sweater. So that same light rust color. I'm just going to run it along the bottom of the gray dots. I might need a smaller brush, maybe not. There we go. I'm going to go along the bottom of there. Give that a little bit more color. Okay, that didn't work so badly. So yeah, that added a little bit more color, looked a little bit better there. And then I think I can do the same thing right in between here where that gray is, or where that tan is. Just kind of put a stripe in the center there. I'm going to do the same thing right above this gray row of tally marks, whatever you want to call those, little dots. So I'm just adding more color because it was looking a little bland. I'm going to do that along the bottom of this one as well. And along the bottom of this one. There we go. That looks way better. I like that a lot. And I think I can do my buttons on my sweater now. So I'm going to grab my red rust color. Darkened up pretty well. I'm going to do some little buttons. Okay, how's the shadow right now? Is it where you guys can see better? There was some strong light coming in the window. Okay, I'm just going to load my brush up with red or rust. Kind of a darker rust. I've added some black to it. Might need to mix up even more so I can see that well. Okay, and I'm just going to use that for the buttons. And my buttons don't have to be perfectly colored in. They can be kind of open shadow. They can be kind of open in the center a little bit as if they have a hole in the button. But mostly I just want to work on trying to make sure they're round, which is sometimes hard with a tiny brush. You can also use the other end of your brush and just dip it in the paint if your brush will let you do that. And then use it like a little dot tool and just dot, 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 dot. That works easiest. That's easiest with acrylic, but sometimes it works with watercolor as well. On these are just the button holes, so I'm just going to make them kind of long, little oblong shapes, like that. Okay, we're getting there, we're getting there. Thanks, Grandma. Bonnie says it is better. Okay, good. Beautiful picture. I would buy one like it if I found one. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I really like this sweater. I think it's cute. I'm going to get a little bit more rust here mixed up. A little bit brighter red. And I think I'm going to add some texture to my knitting. First off, I'm going to add a little bit of red to the buttonhole area. It's a little bit faded. So I'm going to just give some shading to the left-hand side and the right-hand side, just so that area is a little bit more defined. It's a lighter pink than I want it to be. And especially down the right-hand side where there's a lot of pattern, it's having to compete with. Just going to give it a little bit more dark red there. Like so. Just like that. And a little bit down here as well. And I can kind of use that same red to run along the bottom of the sweater. But you do want to keep your brush nice and wet, otherwise it'll skip around and it won't be smooth. You do that along the bottom of the cuffs as well. Here, and then I'm going to also do it along the top edge. And along this side. So see how I'm kind of emphasizing all those little folds. And all the little edges. I'm going to do a little border on the top of this knitted area. And here and here. So what I'm noticing is my shading is kind of light on these edges, so I'm going to use that same dark red brown color, water it down quite a bit so it's not really coming across as red, and just use it as shading for the left and right of the sweater, so that my shading around the buttons isn't the only area that you see that. And, ooh, there goes my shadow. Okay. And then just follow basically the tracer lines. That's what I'm doing. Ta-da! Isn't that looking better? It looks so cute and cozy. Thank you, Bonnie. Yeah, that's what I'm going for. I want it to look cozy for sure. Okay, coming all the way up the left side of the sweater. And like I said, I don't always want to outline things. I mean, that's not really the goal, but if it will make your eyes see things better, it's definitely a good option. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and color in this little one a little bit better. Oh, my thing is acting like it's not plugged in, even though it is. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and color this in because I'd like for this to be darker. So I'm just going to color in between the buttons carefully with some red or rust, because I really want this to be brighter. And it's not coming as bright as I want it to be. Okay, that's a little better. Like that. And then I think I'm going to take this same rust color and add a little bit more of it to the rest of the painting by doing some X's over top of the pink stripes, those really faded pink stripes I just did. I'm just doing X's, just like you would if you were doing like a cross stitch pattern or painting what looks like cross stitch. So like little X's all the way up. Kind of let the X's go at an angle so they follow the pattern of the sweater. I'm going to do that all the way down this side as well. And this will basically make that stripe look like it's knitted or something instead of just there. So anytime you're doing a pattern or a sweater like this, or socks or anything like that. Oh, Pam says my sound is breaking up. Let me check this real quick and make sure that it is working. Hang tight for just a minute, everybody. Okay, so apparently it is live, for some reason it's not as clear as it should be. I'm sorry. Hopefully it'll clear up, and I'm almost done, so we'll wrap up here in a minute. Okay, so, but I was going to say, anytime you do socks or sweaters or anything like that, you can kind of imitate the knitting without having to actually draw every single stitch. You can draw the stitches, and there are people that paint like that. But if you just do like a stripe, like I did, I painted a lighter color than the color I really wanted, that light rust color, and then come back in and do either dashes or X's or even little V shapes. Your eye will be like, oh, look, there's stitching happening there, even though it's actually just little X's or something. So it's a great way to get a texture down there without having to do all the work. Oops, I gotta get my brush wetter. The brush is not wanting to stay very wet. Okay. You could also use a micron pen if you don't want to use your paintbrush for this. All right, that's looking pretty good. And last but not least, I'm going to take my little tiny brush and get it real dry, and I'm going to get a little bit of that tan color that I used for that background. And get my brush pretty dry, pick up a little bit of that color. I'm just going to scratch it along the surface to give that area some texture. Just scratch it along the surface like that. And it'll rough up that stark white. It's not really white, but that, just flat texture right there. It'll just give it a little bit more happening there. And I'm going to do that anywhere that little white area is. And that'll just make it look like there's maybe some texture or woolliness or stitching or something in the background going on. And I think that's it for today. So there's our little fall sweater. Let me hold that up so you guys can see it nice and clear. And that is all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed, I hope you enjoyed today's Doodle a Day, day 18, which is our October Doodle a Day challenge for the day. So thank you all for watching. I can't wait to see what you guys post. If you do finish one, take a picture, post it to your Facebook page, and tag Artworthy Life. I'd love to see it, or post it to your Instagram if you don't have Facebook. And I will see you tomorrow for another Doodle a Day right here at Artworthy Life. God bless you guys and have a great Tuesday. Bye.